Hello, boys and girls. This is Miss Batchko. Hello, teachers as well. Today we're going to be looking at Gaggle again, and we are going to be talking about academic data tracking. What that means is that you're going to be looking at all of your test scores throughout the year, and we're going to see how much you're improving and that you're keeping track, that you're learning, and that you are gaining knowledge. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google Chrome, you're going to log into Gaggle. Once you're logged in, I want you to go to Apps, and you're going to go to your digital locker. Once you're in your digital locker, you see the black circle with the white plus sign. Go ahead and click there, and we're going to create a new spreadsheet. The reason why we are using a spreadsheet is because it has rows and columns, and it's easy to organize. So go ahead and click that. Notice that when I click it, I have, it looks like a guns up almost. I have a thumb, a pointer finger, and my other fingers are down. It's saying that it specifically wants to select that one. It's asking for a file name, so please put 2014-2015 academic data and say OK. It is now creating the document. You can see that up at the top. Again, there's that teeny tiny yellow notification, and it says working. It says your new file has been created. Would you like to edit it now? And I'm going to say yes. Now it's saying that it was converting to Google Drive, and then it opens in this window. Miss Batchko has really tired eyes, and so she wants to know, how do I make this bigger? Well, up at the top, if you're in Chrome, you're going to see in the top right corner below the red X, you see 3 rows. If you click that and press the zoom to maybe 125 is as far as you need to go, that will allow the screen to be bigger. The first sheet that we are going to create is your reading data. If you look at the bottom left corner, it says sheet 1. I want everyone to double click, and it's going to turn blue. Now you are just going to directly type over that, reading data. You want to type a capital R, E-A-D-I-N-G, data. Now we're ready to work on the sheet itself. If you press enter, it's going to save that. Something you need to know that's really nice about Gaggle and Google Docs is that it says all changes saved in Drive. Notice that under File, there's not really anything that says Save. That's because it saves automatically. Now we're ready to start entering in some information. The first thing that you want to do is find column A, row 1. That's the very first one. I want everyone to double click so it becomes blue, and then you see the line blinking. You need to type in reading tests. Now you'll see that it goes into that row B. I want it to fit, so I'm going to go in between A and B until I find the arrow pointing in both directions. I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to move that blue line until it's at the end of the S. Now in column B, row 1, I'm going to type in score. Those are the titles of my table. What I want you to do is I want you to go to A1, press down with your finger, and I want you to go to B1 so it's highlighted. Notice how it's baby blue. I'm going to make the title bold. I'm going to use that B so it really stands out. Then I'm going to hover all the way over to the alignment tool, and I want it in the middle. That way I know what test is it and what does this number mean? Oh, it's the score I made. In A2, you're going to put in your first 6 weeks CBA. And again, I'm going to go to in between A and B until it becomes that 2-way arrow. I'm going to move it to the end of that A. My first 6 weeks CBA, I'm not too pleased with it. I got a 70. Since I know that a 70 is still pretty close to not passing, for me, I'm going to add a color to that cell. And how you add color is you want to select the cell so it has that blue box around it. Then you're going to see a paint bucket with paint spilling out and a paintbrush in it. Click the down arrow and select a color that corresponds to your score. For me, I'm going to select this red. Now, I know that I also had a November benchmark. I don't know my score, but I know it's coming up. I also know that I have a third 6 weeks CBA. Then, from there, I'm ready so that when I get those scores, I can enter them. Now we're going to add another sheet for your next round of academic data. So at the bottom, you're going to see that plus sign, and it says Add Sheet, and you want to get a new sheet, just like you would want a new piece of paper. Double click on Sheet 1. It's going to be highlighted. Press the backspace, and now we're going to enter our math data. Press Enter, then go to A1. Again, I'm going to type in Math Test, and then in B1, I'm going to type in Score. Again, those are my titles. I want them to stand out. So I'm going to bold them, and then I'm going to line them to the middle. Now, in A2, I can put first 6 weeks CBA. Please notice, boys and girls, that I have capital letters, and it looks pretty nice and organized. I really learned a lot of math the first 6 weeks, and I'm pretty impressed with myself. I made an 85. And 85 is pretty great. I personally think that I could have done better. Now, I don't think I'm in the red, but I'm going to say that I'm kind of in the yellow. I know that I also have a November benchmark and that I have a third 6 weeks CBA. I don't know my scores yet, but when I know them, I'm going to add them. Now I'm going to add another sheet for a new subject. In sheet 2, I'm going to type in science data. In science data, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I type in science test. In B1, I type in score. Again, it's a title, so I bold it. I'm going to line it to the center, and then I'm going to go to A2. I had a first 6 weeks CBA, and I made a 95. I'm pretty impressed with that score. I'm going to go to my paint bucket. I'm going to fill the cell to be green. I had a November benchmark and a third 6 weeks CBA. Now, boys and girls, if this is not the data that you had, make sure that you know what you need to enter. Your teacher will tell you. Now I can add my social studies data. It says sheet 3 down at the bottom. I double click. I type in social studies data. I type in A1 social studies test. And in B1, I type in score. I had a first 6 weeks CBA. Sorry. And I'm not too happy with mine. I got a 45. I know I could have done better. I'm going to go red on that one. I had a November benchmark and a third 6 weeks CBA. And I'm actually gonna go back to a, Okay, so I got ahead of myself and I started clicking, and how to fix that is up at the top next to the printer icon, you'll see 2 buttons. One's an undo button and one is a redo button. I'm going to press the undo button. And it should work properly, but if it doesn't, just know that your changes will save and you just need to quickly retype. So I'm going to type in again, third 6 weeks CBA. And what I meant to do in A2 is I meant to type the word 6 and not just the letter. Okay. Now my last one I'm going to add, if you take it, is my writing data. Again, this is a title, so I'm going to bold it and I'm going to line it to the middle. and I had a first 6 weeks CBA. I could have done better, but I know I tried my hardest. And I had a November benchmark and a third 6 weeks CBA. Now, I don't have my scores yet because I've only taken the first 6 weeks CBA. So once I get the other scores, I'm good to add them in. Before I X out, I want to make sure that all changes saved in Drive. That means it automatically saves. Now I can exit out. It's kind of scary to do. And now I'm back in my digital locker. I do want to talk about something real quick, is I want you to find your academic data. And I want you to look at how I'm clicking on it. Now, if I click to where it's just an arrow, does everyone see that's just an arrow icon? It's going to show me a preview. That's not what I want. Press that X to close it. But if I hover over the words, the title of the document, you're going to see that Guns Up for Texas Tech is there again. Go ahead and click that, and then it will open a new tab, and it will have everything that you already entered saved. And it looks like on my social studies one, I forgot to highlight it, bold it, and center it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And again, it's saving, it's saving, it's saving, and then everything's saved and I can X out. When you're done, remember, boys and girls, to log out.